This is the Rays POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Tampa Bay Rays, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Tampa Bay Rays POSTCAST, your spot for instant Rays reaction after every single game. My name is Jonathan Shields. Make sure you guys go follow me on Twitter at Johnny10Shields, as the Rays cannot complete the sweep. They fall short to the Tigers 9-3. In this one, we're going to talk about how the offense only went 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position. We're also going to talk about how I thought Zach Littell was really good in this game. We're going to talk about Forrest Whitley having his first kind of bad game with the Rays. Also, there's no need to panic. You know, the Rays kind of, if you have an overarching view, just not just the game, the Rays still have a winning homestand. They take 2 out of 3 of the best for the best team in the majors. A lot of positives still from this Rays team that we're going to look ahead to see. Talk about the Rays' upcoming road trip. But first, let's talk about what happened going into that 9th inning.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Kevin Cash, and I love Kevin Cash, he loves to just kind of like punt on a game when the Rays are within like 2 runs. There is zero reason why Pete Fairbanks shouldn't be on the mound. The Rays have an off day tomorrow. This game is within 2. This offense has seen they can score, and when they score, it is in clumps, right? To me, there's no reason why you throw, and I know, of course, it was good before today, and, you know, if he would have gone out there and thrown a scoreless inning, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But guess what? He didn't. And I thought, you know, you could have thrown Uceta, you could have thrown Fairbanks, you could have thrown mostly those 2, but with an off day tomorrow, and Fairbanks didn't throw once this series, it would have been nice to throw him and be able to get to the bottom of the 9th inning, still down 2. And then I know things would have been a lot different. The Tigers wouldn't have, you know, thrown a few of their bad relievers to, you know, make it walk the bases low in the bottom of the 9th inning. But you never know what would happen with this Rays offense. You get one on, you pop another one over the fence, and all of a sudden you're tied. But instead, the Tigers were up for 9 in the 9th inning. And, you know, I just really dislike how Kevin Cash punted there. I mean, you know, he didn't punt. You know, punt's maybe a strong word, but he didn't put in his best pitcher. And I don't know why he didn't. The Rays have an off day tomorrow. Fairbanks hasn't thrown since the 12-8 game, if I'm not mistaken. So he hasn't thrown since Thursday or Wednesday. I mean, there's no reason for him to not throw today, in my opinion. But, you know, it is what it is. The Rays still take 2 out of 3 from Detroit. But let's talk about the offense, because obviously you get the Junior home run, and then everything just kind of stalemates. I thought they really missed out on a big opportunity in the 4th. After Junior hit the home run, you get a Magnum double with only 1 out. You know, that's a runner in scoring position with Josh Lowe. And, you know, Cabby coming up, and you can't get him in. And then in the 5th, you get another base runner, doesn't turn into anything. But in the 6th was another one, you know, Caminero singled, and then boom, immediately a double play. And that was, I think, I can't remember another time Aranda's grounded into a double play. I mean, obviously he's done it this year, but he's really good about in key spots like that, you know, putting the ball in the air mostly. And if it is on the ground, it's a hard, you know, kind of ground ball. But then right after that, Jake Magnum doubles, right? So you have another runner in scoring position, another chance to bring this game from, you know, to take the lead at this point. And then that was in the bottom of the 6th, another chance to take the lead. And then again, so that's 2 opportunities, one with where the Rays had 2 cracked it. But so they have 3 chances to take the lead. They don't. And that's where we get to our turning point the very next inning.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
It's the 2-run home run. And I don't love Clevenger. I mean, if he becomes a 2-inning guy, more power to him. I mean, he's gross as it is, but you can tell after he came out for the 2nd inning, he just kind of didn't look as sharp. And he walks the first guy, which Clev never does. Clevenger rarely walks anyone. And then all of a sudden you get the Steinbrenner special. It was only that home run by Perez was only a home run in Steinbrenner Field. So the Rays have been on the receiving end of a few of those, and then they've been on, you know, the opposite end. So they're on the opposite end of one tonight. But again, the Rays arguably should have had 3 runs by that point, right? If they didn't miss out on those opportunities. And again, in the 7th, you have a runner in scoring position, and they pinch hit Taylor Walls, which I don't love. And I know Taylor Walls has been really good lately, but you know, I don't. So has Christopher Morel. Like, I really don't get it. And I get a lot of it was for like defensive positioning and stuff, which they do way too much in my opinion. But they pinch hit for Taylor Walls, and he strikes out on 3 pitches. And you know, Taylor Walls, that's only 2nd pinch hit at bat of the year. It's not a situation where he's kind of super familiar with. So that decision was a little bit confusing. And then, you know, in the 8th, the Rays get the leadoff guy on, and then nothing. You get that kind of brutal double play after Aranda just roped one right to the first baseman, perfect spot. And again, if he's not holding Brandon Lau on at first, it's probably a double for Aranda. But again, kind of an unfortunate game for the Rays. In the ninth inning, obviously, Forrest Whitley just really bad. And he throws the same pitch over and over again. So guys can really start to key in on it. I mean, he finished giving up, I believe it was 6 earned. Yeah, I mean, didn't even record an out. Not a very good stat line for Forrest, but that was just not ideal in that spot. But the Rays, and again, like I said, everything's context and stuff. The Tigers would have better pitchers in, but again, they did put up a fight in the bottom of ninth, which kind of doubles down on my point. Like, who knows what they would have done in the ninth if you were thrown Fairbanks, if you thrown Uceta and you get a clean inning there. And I don't know if Uceta or Fairbanks would have got a clean inning there, but I like their odds more than Whitley. And he did get a little bit unlucky with the Torkelson double that was right off the handle that scored Green. By the way, I'm very happy not have to play Riley Green anymore. He is a menace. He is very, very good at the sport of baseball. But those were kind of like my overlying points coming into this. And it's a lot of what ifs in this game, right? The Rays only 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position, and that one hit came in the ninth again from Taylor Walls, who continues to swing a real hot bat, which is really good to see from him. But there's only so much you can do when the other 7 times you have opportunity to score the runners, you just can't do it. I know Yandy had the one, so this might even be 1 for 9. I don't know if I updated after Yandy hit, but Yandy again, he just ropes one right into a double play. I mean, the Rays lined into 2 double plays. How often do you see 2 of those in a game? Both hit 100 plus off the bat. So just tough, but again, nothing to panic about. I think that the Rays are still in obviously a really good spot. Obviously, the Yankees won today, which isn't the greatest for the Rays, obviously, but if you would have looked back 10 days ago when the Rays were 6.5 back and say, going into this road trip against Kansas City and Baltimore, the Rays are 2.5 back from first in the AL East, you take that every day of the week, right? And that's what the Rays have been able to do. They've been able to fight back and get within, 3 games, or at least technically 2.5 games of, the Yankees. And, Toronto's up right now, so hopefully they lose. Toronto's also been, kind of just as hot as the Rays recently. But we'll talk about Zach Littell. And we'll talk about how there's no need to panic after this loss, and we'll look ahead right after this. The episode is brought to you by Wonderful Pistachios. Looking for a snack that's both delicious and nutritious? Crack into a good source of protein with Wonderful Pistachios. Wonderful Pistachios is one of the highest protein nuts. Each 1 ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with better-for-you unsaturated fats to keep you feeling fuller longer. And you guys know I love the no-shove variety. It's just a quick thing you can grab before a workout, or if you're just at your desk working or anything. They are the kind of the easiest way to grab them, go, and you kind of eat them on the go. But then there's also, the classic in-shell options if you want the crack of the shell and kind of that classic, the classic pistachio. So get snacking to get cracking with a snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. And this episode is also brought to you by FanDuel. Summer sports are in full swing. Whether you're all about baseball under the lights, golf on the green, or high-stakes soccer action, FanDuel is the best way to make every game even more exciting. You're already following the action. Why not make it a little more thrilling? With FanDuel, you can get in on the game while your friends are getting sunburned on the beach. And again, you guys know Game 7 of the NBA Finals this night, so you might as well, use the FanDuel now, because you can, if you think the Thunder are going to win, you can parlay the Thunder money line with Shea winning Finals MVP if you wanted to. So, that's the kind of flexibility FanDuel allows you. And if you're new to FanDuel, new customers can bet just $5 and get 115 bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started. Again, if you guys are in the live, make sure you leave a like and comment. We'll be getting to them at the end. And if you guys are watching replay, make sure to leave a like as well. Obviously, tough one for the Rays today. Couldn't get it done, but, still a lot of positives to take away. But let's talk about Zach Littell. He had his most swing and misses of, I believe it was 15 swing and misses Zach Littell caused, and it was the most he's had in a game this year. I'm surprised he didn't go back out for the 6th. And the reason why he didn't is because the Rays' bullpen was set up. So I think Cash wanted to get into that, but ended up kind of backfiring a little bit. But he went 5 innings, just 4 hits, 1 earned, 5 strikeouts, and he didn't give up a home run. I mean, this feels like the first time in like 3 months that Zach Littell didn't give up a home run. Zach Littell has given up a home run since May 3rd. He's given up a home run in every single game except for 2 of them. So he gave up 8 home runs in each of April and May, and he's already has 6 in June. So he's kind of at that average. But no home runs today. I mean, this is the best he's looked to me in a little bit. I mean, he was really, really efficient. And it's sad that it was kind of like the earlier the season with Zach Littell with the Rays couldn't get anything going with him on the mound. I mean, Zach Littell, I think it was the San Diego series where he only pitched with a lead for like an inning and a third or something. It's tough to get a winning record if you're doing that. It's kind of the same thing today. Only gets 1 run of run support while he's in the game. So really impressed with Littell, though. I mean, to be able to get the swing and miss that he did get, and that's something we don't normally see from him. Very, very encouraging. And obviously, I want to touch on Junior too. I mean, he just continues to rake. And I implore anyone listening to vote for the All-Star. I mean, vote for Aranda, vote for Junior, vote for Yandy, vote for all of them, because the way that they're going right now, they deserve to be represented in the All-Star game, in my opinion. So make sure. I mean, Rays have it in their Twitter bio, they have it in their Instagram bio to go vote. I vote every day. You can vote 5 times a day. So definitely get the Rays to Atlanta. But no need to panic, guys, because these things happen, right? You still have to look at this from an outside view. And the Rays have won. It's like 21 of 29. They took 2 out of 3 from the Tigers. They took obviously a winning homestand, and that's all you kind of hope for. The Rays are 1 game better above 500. They're 8 games above 500 when they started this homestand. They were 7 games above 500. So against 2 really good teams. Now is where it's one of the toughest stretches of the season. The Rays have 6 more series before the All-Star break. 5 of them are on the road. So we're starting to get that payback from having all the games at Steinbrenner. I think BA said that it was game 50 today, 51 at home. You only get 81 of those. So that means the Rays are going to have a ton of away games, and it starts with these last series. And then when you go into the second half of the season, you open up with the homestand, but then you're on the road for 2 straight weeks in California. And before that, you're on the road for a whole week. So the Rays go for a stretch from July 25th until August 17th with 3 home games, just to put in perspective how things are going to start evening out from that earlier in the year. So this is a tough stretch the Rays were talking about. And it's good that they were able to build this many games above 500 because, yes, the Rays have been a really good road team, but you never know what could happen. And spending 2 weeks on the West Coast like that is tough. So it will be interesting to see what happens there. But let's look ahead to who the Rays play next. They play the Kansas City Royals. And so those games will start at 7:40 Eastern. And the first game is going to be a big one for Taj Bradley. He's going to need a bounce back. Now he's 4-5 with 4.95 ERA, and that ERA should be even higher because those earned runs that he had against the Mets didn't count against him. He'll be going up against Chris Bubik, who is a sneaky good pitcher for the Royals. I mean, obviously not known to us, but he is someone that has been really good for a really long time. Not a really long time, but in recent years. So this is kind of he was in a bullpen role last year, but I remember when he started, he was starting games with the Royals early in his career. So the past 3 years, he's had a sub-4 ERA, and then this year he's at a 2.12. So his last time out against the Rangers, he went 5 1/3, 9 hits, 3 earned. So his last 2 times out have been a little shaky, but in the month of May, I mean, he was dominant. He only gave up two earned runs, and against the really good teams. I mean, that includes Houston. I mean, Baltimore's lineup was a little bit on the fritz still, but Minnesota has a good lineup. So the Giants have a good lineup. So the Rays have struggled against lefties, but that was more of a thing of the past. But I still have kind of concerns. Can the Rays hit elite pitching? I'm not saying Bubic is like some elite pitcher, but the Rays, against the obviously not Scoobles and Skeens because those are kind of the outliers, but they did hit well against like Hunter Brown, but and stuff like that. But can they consistently hit the best pitching? Because that's what you're going to need to do in the playoffs. But let's get to the comments. As Cameron Van Pelt says, hey, it says it's another series win this weekend is against the best team in the AL. Last week it was a sweeping on the road against the best team in the NL with the best record. No hanging heads. That's exactly what I was talking about. You got to look at it from kind of a different vantage point and say, oh, the Rays still did some really good things throughout the series, even if they weren't too sharp today. As we go to Gary, says sweep would have been nice, but we'll gladly settle for 2 out of 3 against what's been the best team in the American League record wise to this point. So yeah, I 100% agree. Kind of piggybacking off of what piggybacking off of what Cameron said. So as we go to Mike, he talked about Walls average up to 222 is driving him runs. I've been on record saying if Walls is a 220 hitter, I mean, he's going to be in the league for a really long time with the way that he plays defense. And so it's really good to see him starting to get going like that. As we say, go to Cameron Vimpel talking about the pin chase. It's tough matchup against Morel with that side with the righty. I do agree. Like the righty was tough. He was kind of throwing from a different angle. I 100% agree. But it's just, do you pinch hit? I don't know. You're splitting hairs at this point. So I get why they did it. I do. But at that point, it's tough. I trust Kevin Cash with those decisions, but the decision for him in the ninth inning, I really thought he should have gone to a higher leverage arm there. As we go to Cameron Van Pelt, he's talking about swept by the Royals at home last time. Payback is coming. They're a series that matter more than you think when September rolls around. I agree. The Royals did sweep them, and it was pretty dominant during that time too. It's like I got 2 phone calls during the postcast, which is if you guys see me going away like that, sorry about that. So yeah, just really not unfortunate, a chance for redemption for the Rays going to Kansas City. Let's go to Douglas Batiste. Says, was at the game when I saw Whitley coming in. I turned to my son and said, they are giving up. Yeah. It's not, look, you want to see what you have in Whitley especially before Manny Rodriguez comes back. And you got some pitchers in AAA to, kind of also you want to give a look at. But, in that game, he's pitched a lot this week. I would like to see Pete. He compares it to the Richard Lovelady experiment. There was no pitcher I was ever least confident in than Richard Lovelady coming into the games. So I like the comparison a lot, actually, but I actually think Whitley's a little bit better. He just threw the same pitch too much, and he got hammered. And the Tigers got lucky on some, balls that weren't too hard hit but found holes. And then, the big home run came that kind of put the game away. Kieran Van Pelt asks, is Manny coming back soon? Soon-ish. Like he'll be back, I think, right around the All-Star break, if not right after. I think they said 3 weeks when 3 weeks when Eric Nylander went on WDA a few weeks ago. Oh, not a few weeks ago, a few days ago. My brain is in shambles right now. Sorry, guys. As obviously I see some comments about Game 7. So yeah, and Game 7 is tonight. So you guys make sure also use FanDuel if you want to bet it. As Karen Vibel talks about, I'd love to see Seymour in the bullpen. I think he's more of a starter. I think the Rays see him more as a starter, but it'll be interesting to see what the Rays do going forward. You definitely miss Manny Rodriguez right now, though. You kind of feel that hole in the Rays bullpen, and I just hope that he can get back healthy. Probably after the All-Star break. Eric Nylander said 3 weeks a few days ago, so kind of just reiterated that probably after the All-Star break. So again, I appreciate everyone joining live. Off day tomorrow, so no postcast tomorrow, but we'll be right back at it on Tuesday. As a lot of you guys have said, hopefully the Rays can get that redemption against the Royals. So if you guys are watching the replay, make sure you leave a like and comment. If you guys are watching live, again, thank you guys for always watching live. I love having a bigger live audience. So make sure you leave a like and comment as well. And I will see you guys on Tuesday.